Hello and welcome, ladies and gents. We are about to get this show on the road. It's ENCE taking on HONORIS in a best of three, of course, in IEM Brazil European closed qualifier. Scriv, how you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good about this one. We'll see. ENCE on that CT side is a scary prospect to me. Straight out of the gate. But Lunatic, speaking of straight out of gates, they're just charging up mid here. No forethought into this one, just rushing straight through. They're going for a bit of a reverse A take here. Valde in on the site, going to get overwhelmed. Looking very good then. 5-on-3. They went for more of a B-heavy play on that end side of things, and it's not come off, unfortunately, for them. Taz, nice one round the corner. Hungry for a bit more. He's going to be denied for now, but Madden cannot find the shots. Taz just keeping him at bay. Snappy and Madden, dynamic duo. We'll see about that in a second here, won't we? Nade of Snappy. Could find a frag. Doesn't find the frag, unfortunately. Sobol left on 4 HP. Not a chance for the in-game leader of ENCE. Any more heads going to present themselves is what he's after, but the round, pretty handedly, goes the way of HONORIS.
Yeah, gotta say, not bad at all. And Raiko will see it off. Good start for HONORIS. Really, really good start. Of course, like we said, coming in towards this game, I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody would lean in favor of ENCE in terms of the favorites in this game. But HONORIS have continued through the open quals to impress and to upset. So I'm not going to count them out by any means. That's a really, really solid start. And just while we've kind of got a little bit of downtime, we can talk about the veto. Inferno is the pick of HONORIS. Vertigo is the pick of ENCE. And if we need it, our decider is Nuke. So quite the cool veto there. I'm a fan of it. Inferno, Vert, both are good maps. And then Nuke is my favorite. So I'm loving life.
Yeah, and you know, it's not too bad of a veto for HONORIS. They go for the pick into Inferno, their second most played. Nuke being their most played, kind of interesting that they didn't pick into it, but they're, I suppose, confident enough in their Inferno. Got to have been doing some work here. I see Zed fine for Madden, though. The Eagle can't really join him, unfortunately, but there's still, again, 3 on this B side of things. A lot of bodies over here. Lunatic left pretty low. So do start to panic ever so slightly on that HONORIS side. They've got a reassess, I think, with the rest of this round.
Yeah. I mean, for ENCE, right, this is one of those rounds where, realistically, we're coming into it and we're kind of just saying, hey, you know, if you guys can get a few kills under your belt, you know, 3 kills is really not a bad eco as things are. I guess, you know, eco's the loose term. It is actually a full buy, but they haven't brought too much to the table. It's just get a couple of kills, you can feel a little bit positive. They're not expected to win this or find too much success, realistically, just because of the difference in firepower.
Snappy on the big angle. They've gone for a double pump in towards B. There's still 2 bodies here. A quick flank coming in from DHAR, so keep your eyes on it. What can the B defenders get done? That's the big question. Any flashes to come through. DHAR going to find a kill on the backside with the CZ, sorry. He's going to look for more. Great flash comes round for him. He can't quite capitalize onto a Galil now, though. And Sobol very low. They need DHAR in here. And indeed, they will get him. It's all down to Sammy against 3, and Valde takes his head cleanly off. There's the force buy win for ENCE. Already, Nail. Already it started.
Yeah, it's a really, really good flank from D here as well. For some reason, appearing as Paul Tensley in the old kill feed. He's a big fan. Who is Paul? It's a great question. We may never know. But if he's finding 2 kills around, I think we're going to be pretty damn happy with that one. Good start for ENCE. It's one of those rounds that on paper, you look at it, and while it's a full investment, what they've brought to the table isn't really anything too special in terms of firepower. So we're kind of just thinking, hey, right, if you can get a few kills, there's a silver lining, we'll take it. We'll take it. But the fact that they've walked away with a round, a bonus with not much invested, is really, really good. And of course, it completely flips the script a bit now, because for HONORIS, they've just not got anything to work with. They themselves are going to fall by, but, you know, at the most they can bring to the table is a Mach 10.
Well, they're going to go fast in towards B, try and rush it up. There's a good smoke down from the CT side, going to make this very difficult indeed. Running out of ammo, there's a team kill in there, or a bit of team damage, sorry, in there from the Mach 10 of Lunatic. You can see why. He's certainly living up to his namesake on that Mach 10. They find 2, looking for damage ultimately, but not going to get in towards B. That's what they were after, and they were held at bay pretty effectively.
2 kills, not too bad with the old Mach 10, though. A bit of cash they can work with in towards the next. Either way, now the brakes will be pumped just a tad. What do they do? Bit of a tag as well. They may have heard that information.
Some Pius has got so much, though. I think this is going to happen a lot, right? Aggression from A. They're confident individually to go for it and just take down the lurk presence, as we saw in the previous round. DHAR on the CZ at range it was. And they're going to keep this up, I'm sure. CT side containment, it's called. Sun Pius has got it. Great angle. Should be able to finish the round here and now, but you can see some of that discipline coming in. Actually, going to cost them a bomb plant by the looks of things. Or is it? They're happy to give it an attempt. Snappy, half HP, does not want to fly off the handle with this one, giving full respect across to Lunatic, which is really good to see. It's one of the ways that HONORIS could get in is if ENCE play cocky. At the moment, they're not doing so. They respect the position they're in. They're cool to let the bomb plant go down. They are working their way around, trying to keep everybody alive ultimately, and it's D-hard to find the kill. I think all three of them were kind of after it. Defuse coming in for Sun Pius, getting that cash for the AWP, etc., etc. ENCE playing a pretty solid game here so far.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, of course, that was, really kind of cool, calm, composed, right? It's a 1 versus 3, but they're not overextending. They're making sure that essentially... it's not made too expensive on the way out. But to be perfectly honest, for HONORIS, they're walking away, a couple of kills, both of them Act 10, which is already money, and a bomb plant. As, low buys go, that's really actually not too bad. It does mean that they can't really do too much in towards the next round. They have money, but I think force buying here will be really risky. They'd only be able to warrant 1 AK, and I just think it's not really worth it. I'd like to see maybe a half buy here, and then fully invest in towards the next, and thankfully, that's what they will do. But ENCE are going to take a lead and have got a good opportunity to extend it. Of course, it's a full buy for them. Sun Pius in towards the AWP, and he makes it work wonderfully onto the legend that is Taz.
All right. Just a little bit of posturing here. The usual stuff. Banana control comes in nice and easy for ENCE, especially, thanks to that first kill. Deagle's ringing out. Whoa, okay. Lunatic is kind of on it at the moment. He's been looking good in these early rounds. Going to go for a bit more. Short smoke comes down. Not ready for an off angle from Valde, though. Maybe they could have waited a second just to give him some support. Nonetheless, he goes down. That should start to seal this round up, friends.
Couple of kills, though. You'll take it, right? I mean, this Lunatic guy, some pretty nut shots we're seeing already from him. He's at least making this a bit of a competition. I think people would question the firepower quite a bit of the HONORIS side, but he's doing all right.
D-Hart. Oh, in for 2. Does get traded out. Ryko can't find anything else from it, and that'll be the 3rd round coming in for ENCE pretty smoothly. But again, they are kind of staying hot on them. Couple kills here or there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that we're starting to see the roll come in quite yet. So ENCE have got a bit more work to do before they live up to the hype, as it were.
Yeah, for sure. They're sort of chipping away, right? I mean, like we said, it's one of those buys we don't really expect too much from HONORIS. Anything they can take from it is a slight silver lining. Here's where things really matter. And this is, arguably, the most important round we've seen so far. This is where we get to see, may I say, what HONORIS can actually bring to the table. We don't really know too much about this side and its kind of newest variation about what they're like on their T side against these sort of sides. Nate come through in towards mid, trying to use that smoke bug to find information. But now, though, nothing really being gained. A lot of util being dumped in towards top banana.
This is kind of the problem of the CT side, though. You can really just wait on that T end of things. Let all the nades be expended. Double nade towards logs. HONORIS, though, not keeping a man up. So it means that actually they can go for full banana control. It's taken quite a lot of utility to get here. Snappy through the smoke, going to find a head. And that's not the best way for HONORIS to start. And, again, for me, it's already kind of starting. They're playing very timid. And ENCE are just going to abuse you if you do that.
Yeah, that's it. Well, things now go nice and quiet. Of course, the numbers advantage for ENCE. They don't need to do anything too special. Already great banana control taken. Malik can just post up. This should be rough. In comes the flash. Will he get one? No. Drops and numbers come level once again, and it actually started to fall, and Snappy will drop.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid retake coming in from HONORIS there. Clearly been working on their Inferno. Valde trying to catch some legs, but not going to happen for him. Might even get cut off here. He does indeed. Hell of a round here. 4v2. You don't really have cash. I think it's just got to be the instant save to come in. Maybe try and take a name with you. Taz. Thinking about it. But as you see, D-Har's out of here. Sun Pius holding the sort of frontal flank. Make sure they can't get too aggressive. So this is a save setup if ever you've seen one. HONORIS, though, 2nd round on the board and looking pretty good. I thought after they lose that banana control, it could be all over. But, yeah, some crispy flashes and some great headshots to go along with it. Oh. And they're on the hunt.
Agreed. I like the call as well. I mean, especially that they know an AWP's in play. Try as you might. Get that big green down and out. I don't think they will be able to make their way in time. I don't mind not being too overzealous in the hunt, but I think, generally speaking, I don't know, that's a pretty solid T-side round, right? That B retake or that banana retake was fantastic. A couple of flashes come through, forces Madden off the angle. I think maybe when you're looking at Snappy, should have walked away with at least one before falling. If he did, might have been a different story, might have bought a little bit more time, but, you know, hindsight's 2020, they're all if, buts, and maybes. We're now into round at number 6. ENCE only got the slim 1-round lead and a little bit of a jankier buy-in towards this one with D here investing in towards the FAMAS. But at least, thankfully, they've got utility to support it.
Here we go, though. Another banana retake. Not retake, just general take coming in. They're going to find another opener off the back of it. Did not net them success in the previous round, so we'll see what they can do into this one. The AWP. Oh,
no.
Wow, that timing is insane. He may well have gone down. We'll never know. Sobol looked like he had the pre-fire on deck. Nonetheless, it is Apartments control coming in for the T side. What are they going to do with this, though? They, again, have lost banana control. Surely not 2 rounds in a row you can get it.
Well, Mollies will come through. After a little bit of bounce there on the logs. It's very unfortunate for some bias, but I think he makes a smart decision not really to kind of re-aggress into the angle. That could have been a little bit questionable. He'll both stop and good mid control being taken here. Surely they get a little bit of an idea that the fact that no one's really facing, there might be an inkling back over towards B. Hence why Valdor rotate back over. Lots of util to work with, but time's starting to tick. Less than a minute on the clock.
Quiet retake this time around. Not going to meet anyone. ENCE playing it safer after finding their first, but still ready for a B hit. Maybe they have done their research. HONORIS so far have been really liking the B site. Here we go. Flashes to come round. Madden at CT looking for an opportunity to run through. The boost is successful. Looking very good indeed. Maybe heard that player move in towards CT. Madden is in behind their own smoke, I believe, there. No, it is a T smoke. So a little bit of a missed one. And Madden is going to go for the 2K. He's going to get the 2K, of course. Going to drop that bomb. No time. They thought they had everything solved on the HONORIS side, but Madden, the man on the inside behind enemy line, super successful, and a kill after time there from Dihar, really just to add insult to injury.
It's a lovely round. It really is. I think Madden's done wonderful work. It's textbook, right? When you're learning, kind of, you're making your way through the game and you pick up your little tidbits from MM and your facets and your ESCAs and whatnot. It's always a thing of, you know, in that 1 versus 2 situation, kill the person off the bomb first, then the bomb, because you know the bomb planter can't fight and all the good stuff. And yeah, it's played to perfection. There's really very little you can say on a bad turnover towards ENCE. I mean, the small things that HONORIS are at least making this competitive, right? They're getting into these situations where they can take fights, take 50-50s, even get close, getting a bomb down. And if they keep up that consistency, they could put up a bit of a decent C side. But, you know, we've both been watching a fairly decent amount of Kato recently, and it does seem at the moment that Inferno is leaning so heavily towards that C side.
Yeah, the A1S change is pretty big. Sun Pius is also pretty big on the AWP. They're looking to change that trend here on the end side of things. And again, so much utility in the late round left. HONORIS have not really beckoned it out, and you can see the double smokes there. Really smart stuff from the ENCE defense to just put them away and keep them at arm's length. Snappy goes for an info play, gets a kill alongside it. What's the decision here? I mean, they're charging towards that B bomb site. I think this is out of the ears, at least for now, but Madden, the anchor. You don't have a smoke for CT, by the way. Flash comes in. He's so blind. Just a simple contact flash is enough to give them the B bomb site. Now the rotations will come through, but they are pretty far away from this action. You know, there's not going to be a lot of time. They have retrieved a kit. Valde's got it. Up in the hands of Sun Pius, of course. Trying to find that player on high, I would imagine, in just a second here. He's spamming away. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. They have got this B bomb site on lock. And ENCE respect that fact, and they will move away to save. So HONORIS, once again, pulling around back from the brink.
I think HONORIS has started to realize that now quite consistently that B site is open, right? That B site is looking a little bit weaker than we maybe hope or expect, and they're punishing for it. I got to give them the credit, right? They're adapting to the situation. They're reading into how ENCE are setting up and using it against them. There's, you know, a lot of positives to be taken away from this side who are starting to really read into these ENCE defense setups, may I say. Where the side is kind of, you know, slightly gambling more over towards the A side and kind of gambling on rotation a little bit. And, you know, fair to HONORIS, they're doing a good job of making sure that they don't find the space that they want. So, I've got to say so far, HONORIS, while they may come in as sort of heavy underdogs and everyone will look to ENCE as being the big hitters, these guys are playing really well and they're keeping up with a top-level team.
Yeah, and it's clear to me that ENCE have come absolutely to play today, which is great. Yeah. You know, they do have their A game. They're playing around with how they would usually play against top-tier teams. But we're talking like a tier 4 team out from HONORIS, to be honest. They're, what, like 76 in the world, something like that. They do need to be careful not to overthink things and overanalyze. Flash comes round for both sides. Ryko, he's going to be caught in an awkward spot, unfortunately, and does get taken down. So ENCE are doing really well at the opening pickups, but it seems HONORIS, the mid-rounding has been enough so far for them to pull back a couple rounds of their own. Like I've said multiple times, they have no chance of winning.
Yeah, quite consistently when it comes to the kind of man disadvantage mid-rounds, HONORIS are doing really well. And of course, I mean, their kind of default is just to take control over towards B. And it goes back to the age anecdote, right? You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think they're going to do exactly the same thing again. It's looking like they slowly want to posture back over towards B. Looking like they might do exactly that. All stacked up, making their way towards top banana. The rotation coming back from Madden. Is it going to be too late this time?
Yeah, Snappy's made the call. Let's make sure we've got a player on that B bomb site for info, for footsteps, for smokes to come round. Madden as well, not going to wait. He's just going to flash in and go aggressive. Snappy's got that annoying smoke down around the dark area, just buys time more than anything. But again, both going to fall on the B bomb site. There is a clear chink in this armor. And it is the way that ENCE are playing B. They feel like maybe, you know, they have to readjust to a completely different team. And this is looking good from HONORIS.
It's a very, very decent C-side being set up. Kind of like we were saying, from what we've seen recently of the likes of Kato, and I think just generally since those M4 changes, this map is looking a little bit more swinging towards that T-side. Statistically, at the end of 2022, it was the most T-sided map, but it was still, you know, 52.6, I think it was, 52.6% CT-sided, so still did lead in that favor ever so slightly. Now they're not anymore, and this is pretty good evidence of it, right? We've got a team who, on paper, are much better, but struggling on their CT side. Tazzle fought off the bomb explosion, of course, that expanded radius a few months back is still taking its effect, but as HONORIS tying up this game 4 rounds apiece, this has been a fantastic start from the Polish side. It's sort of, you know, running a ring around ENCE right now. For ENCE, they started well on the CT, but it's not looking as comfortable, as clean anymore. And heading in towards round number 9, there's not too much for them to work with. Just some Pius and AWP, and then pretty much an eco for the rest of them.
Well, ENCE have their buy cancelled by the 2 players not saving. Gonna move round for a boost. Great little flash as well from Dihar. A nice set round, I suppose, when it comes to an eco situation like this. The AWP going to be hyper dynamic, move across to that B bomb site very quickly after finding the opening kill. HONORIS at the very least are becoming predictable, but you know, we have more information available. I already kind of called it. I think an apps control and then a mid-round apps push would be really good for ENCE here.
No, I agree. Things quiet down just a tad for ENCE. The right call is stacking. Unfortunately, it looks like they're stacking the wrong way. The bomb is making its way towards that A site slowly but surely. Realistically, I mean, what do ENCE do now, right? Do they go for the full flank? They make it spotted. Damage dealt to Ryko, though. And it's bought time for some Pyre to rotate over.
Yeah, it's a big info play. And this man is capable. They're looking for a dry burst out of the apartments then. Not a lot of noise to come before that big kill from Dihar on the USP. They're also distracted away. If he had a little bit more ammunition, he could have found another. Oh my goodness, a dink onto a third as well. You've got to be kidding. Valde sticks out a bit too much. That 5-7 for me was going to be the difference. But Madden's still capable. AWP in hand. He doesn't need it, though. Taz will take his head off. It's a 4K from the old guard. Got to be on for 33, 34 now, and he's still got it, even against the big boys.
Just rolling back the years there, Taz. It's good to see. It's good to see. You know, he's still a talent. He's still got it in the locker. Hey, no complaints here. I think Taz might even be a little bit older. I think, honestly, like 36. I want to throw out 36. It feels like a somewhat right age. But I know he's definitely getting on a bit, bless him.
Bingo.
Bingo,
He's
36.
I thought he was younger than that. I thought he was a bit younger than that.
Taz
but,
is,
you gotta.
He's a talent. He's a boomer talent, but he's still got it. He's still got it. It's an way to Forrest, for example, right? Forrest is getting on in his years, but that guy can still pick up a mouse and use it when he's called upon. So Taz has been, he's been competitive for a long time. He's been playing in and around kind of the tier 2, tier 3 scene within Poland, for the last kind of 4 or 5 years now, and still managed to make these teams have the odd competitive run here and there. I think it's kind of flash in the pan moments, but it just shows that this team and him individually are still competitive. And also, I think he's got a really good eye for picking out young talent, right? He's so consistently kind of found these youngsters coming out from Poland and built a bit of a team, and then they've gone on to bigger and better things. So, hey, I gotta say, it's good to see him still on the server and still fragging. HONORIS, of course, they got a lead, 5-4.
Yeah, and a timeout taken by ENCE there. Now more into a bit of a technical one. Hopefully, nothing too bad. We're being told lag on a very basic kind of what's going on here. There were some an update before we started, so sometimes that
classic.
can affect the servers a little bit.
Brilliant, yeah. Apparently they're investigating. They got Sherlock and Co on deck to try and figure this one out. But I think that is hopefully should only be a minor thing that we get things on the way. But I guess we can delve into a little bit more detail about the veto, right? Because we only kind of briefly skimmed over it midway through that second round. So Inferno, Vertigo, Nuke. I think generally speaking, when you look at this one, for me, Inferno feels like a must-win for HONORIS, right? If they at least want to push this towards a third and final map, they have to take Inferno. I feel like if they don't, and if ENCE pick it up, the series in my eyes just looks like it's just going to be a pretty clean 2-0, because ENCE have looked relatively scary on Vertigo recently. We see some good plays from them. I think some players are starting to find his confidence on that map, which I think is a good thing, because a lot of AWPers actually struggle both on T side and CT side Vertigo. It's just a bit of an awkward map to AWP on. So you can see him kind of starting to find that form, and Dia as well. I think he's also been pretty clean on Vertigo recently. So I don't know about you, but in my eyes, HONORIS sort of feels like it feels like they have to take their map pick of Inferno. Things do get a little bit rough.
Yeah, absolutely right. And, even that is a monumental task. So far, looking up to the task, I won't lie. They've clearly been doing their work, and, some dry runs of the set rounds and whatnot before we get into the action, I will still go to bat and say it's a slightly awkward start time. Maybe more towards noon would probably suit everyone involved, but all the same, they have plenty of time before the games to get themselves rolling, get themselves warmed up. They don't really have any excuse. And, we have a lot of heart on the server from HONORIS. I think, as I said, it's actually been quite a hard battle for them to get here. They very nearly didn't make it. So I think they will be happy to have made it this far, but they maybe indeed now you have this sort of pressure off type thing. Nobody expects them to make it past, and maybe even a little bit in the back of their minds, let's just have fun with it, boys. This is going to be a great learning experience for more like the sort of CCT circuit that they usually take part in, the domestic circuit as well, which is pretty big in Poland.
For sure.
And that can, in a way, just lift some of the pressure and maybe make you play a little bit better. Depends on what kind of player you are.
Oh, exactly that. Well, while we do have this slightly elongated break, I can update people on the scores. The scores on the doors across the board, of course, over here, 5-4. Lovely stuff, nice and easy. Heat versus B&E. B&E currently 6-1 up. So they're looking like they're doing all right over there. Then in the other match, Sprout are 6-5 up against 9, but it's seeming like a pretty close game. And then on the complete opposite side of the bracket, it is Monty Big, and Monty are winning 6-4. So Monty continue to be these sort of giant killers in tier 2, like you've seen with some of the other teams. Auroras were a really good giant killer. They were on a 15-match win streak until they lost to Astralis yesterday or the day before. So, Monty, another one of the sides in tier 2 who continues to be really, really scary, especially when Copenhagen Flames have slightly dipped off in form. Monty has sort of taken that space. That would be such an upset. But of course, Big are going through their changes just a tad as well. They, of course, no longer have Searson, or he's benched Searson, or benched himself. And it seems like, it seems like they've got the young blood of, is it Hyper?
Yes.
So right, Hyper, yeah. So Interesting. I'm not too sure that was going to pan out. Do you have any thoughts on kind of the whole Searson minor system? I mean, Searson is one of those people for me that I feel like I could see him play hyped. Thank you, our wonderful Anati production for correcting me. Hyped. There we go. Not hyper, hyped. But yeah, Searson for me feels like one of those AWPers who I think could slot into like a side, like an ENCE, when it comes to tier 1.5, tier 1 teams. We've seen his level, right? So.
Yeah, it's tough to say. It's very tough to say. I mean, he has a very high ceiling, just, never really able to bring it to the lands is the ultimate thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think. Maybe a team like Monty, I don't know if they've got any backing behind them, but that could be a really good shout.
I think they do, to be fair. I think they got a fairly decent amount of cash in hand. Also, sad to see you don't have the 1 in 86 or 83 chance it is of seeing CS 1.1 on the screen there in halls. We also on a break, so apologies about this, ladies and gents. We kind of just have to sit here and wait until it gets fixed. Hopefully we'll get an update momentarily, but it's looking like there's lag issues on the side of the server, and until then it's just a bit of a waiting game. So you get to listen to our dulcet tones as we keep you
this
company.
This is where we really make our money, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And as soon as I know how it goes, I've been around long enough, you throw to a break, and then like 20 seconds later, the game goes live. So we're now in Purgatorio, I think, just waiting and never knowing when we'll get back into the game. But like I say, this is where we get to go podcast mode. You and I are content creators on the side, so I think we're familiar with talking a lot. So yeah, I always remember this sign. I've no idea. Calamari, I know. Zucchini, I think I can see in there.
Yeah.
I think the bottom ones have got to be pasta.
Yeah.
Tagliatelle.
Trophy.
No, because
no
idea.
Taleggio.
My Italian is not as good as I'd like it to be.
My Italian is absolutely zero, so not going to be too good.
Same for me, I guess. All my Italian comes from Assassin's Creed 2 back in the day, and that's mainly swear words. So.
Was that Brotherhood? Was that number 2? Brotherhood was my favorite.
Brotherhood was like part of. They did a bunch of spin-offs for 2, didn't they?
Yeah, so I think Brotherhood might be 3. Yeah. So that's the one I grew up with.
Brotherhood was a banger. I was. Assassin's Creed 2, this is back in the days when, didn't have live of any kind, right? Like, it wasn't free. It was pretty hard to access and convince my parents to pay the subscription. So all those single-player games absolutely banged back in the day.
Yeah, no, it's I agree. I used to, there was, like Far Cry as well, another classic.
Yeah.
Uncharted. I played all the Uncharted when I was younger. Big Halo. The campaigns were pretty damn good as well. I think they were good back in the days. Of course, this is the best. Speaking of sort of campaigns, I would love if we got the chance to do some more mission type stuff in another operation at some point, right? That'd be good times. It seems like there might be one brewing, right? An operation, but
it feels like it's in the air. It's definitely in the air that we've been missing out. We've not had one for a little while now, so
I'm not sure.
Hopefully,
what the chat think if they think an operation's coming. People are kind of in two minds about it, but unfortunately, it sort of seems like these problems are a little bit more bigger than we would have hoped. So, ladies and gents, unfortunately, we are going to first one to a break. When we are back, we're going to be getting into the game. It looks like we might have to have a quick server restart. I say quick. Who knows how long it could be? So. Apologies on that front, but for now we will say BRB. We're going to froze onto a break of the game back up and running, and all the issues of the servers fixed in just a moment. So stick around. We'll see you all in just a little bit.
Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blicke über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blicke über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein gefragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich will nicht auf deine Party gehen, nein. Engel und Teufel tanzen Schwansee. Von deinen Lippen tropft der Chardonnay. Ich küss ihn weg, bevor du schlafen gehst. Auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Faded auf den Wohnzimmerdielen. Baby, sag, wieso sind wir hier? Kann sein, dass wir den Boden verlieren. Wir heben ab morgens um 4. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Look into my face. Tell me now why you want to wait. Running out of words you wanna say. I've been looking for you, looking for you, looking for you. Take me down, leave me lost and found. Take me down,
Ladies and gents, we do apologize. It was a myriad of issues to do with FPS, to do with lag, servers, so many things. But finally, we can say that we have fixed all the errors. Hopefully, touch wood, knock, knock, all the good stuff. And we're back on the way. Where were we, Scriv? It's 5-4 in favor of HONORIS.
Yeah, so I mean, HONORIS had just been pulling off a few nasty rounds, right? And even despite going men down and all that kind of stuff, they were really, 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 really on it. So the Inferno looking good. ENCE a bit shaken and certainly had enough time to reset. We'll see what the game plan is. I believe this is a rinse and repeat of the pistol round that they pulled out. An A crunch coming in from HONORIS. Had plenty of time to work on this, I am sure. Dihar, though, in towards the pit is a nasty member to get rid of. He only goes for the one, but he smoked his teammate. They might not expect it to be here. Samey with the AWP on that T side. Kind of a rarity, to be fair. Valde trying to look for some space in and around the smoke Molotov. Nothing really coming for him, though. 4 on 3. The only hope they have is this man that's still inside the site. They know that he's around on that T side, but he's going to have to go nuclear. There's only really one way to go about it. He peeks out straight into Samey's crosshair, and now with that, they will move to save 4 versus 2. And indeed, HONORIS finding another, so we get back into the action pretty quick with HONORIS up to 6.
There we go. Right back into it, and hopefully now we can start, building up these narratives. It was, it ended up being about a 45, somewhere in the region of 45 minutes to 60-minute break, right? It was quite the lengthy one. So, of course, once again, apologies for that. I mean, completely out of our hands. As many times as people would say, cast a start game, we can't. We just sit here and wait. But we are finally back on the road. And hey, HONORIS continuing how things left off about an hour ago. T-side looking very good from them. ENCE struggling to lock out these sites. I mean, even struggling to go 1-for-1 when it comes to dropping people out on towards the executes. And that's something which is always going to come back to bite this ENCE side. So, heading in towards round number 11. The buy isn't too great. We see a double M4 A1S and just a few pistols to work with. This one should be relatively comfortable for HONORIS.
Yep, you're expecting as such, but ENCE did win a force buyout. They're starting to get a little more aggressive as well, which is what we want to see. A flash comes in. No one's showing around the apartments. It's again going to be a B prod from that HONORIS side. This is where one of the A1Ss resides, though. Flash comes in to contact through again. No one's showing from either side. I don't even think the nade's really going to make it anywhere near HONORIS. They're just backing off. Very timid. They know how important these rounds are right now.
Very quiet. Very, very still. I don't mind this HONORIS as well, right? Because I think they may have a slight inkling that there might be a bit of a gamble stack. They're trying to make sure they don't kind of fall into that trap a little bit. They know there was 2 saved. Don't really know too much about the buy around it, but they can probably expect it to be somewhat on the more minimal side. So it's just not making sure they don't run into too much trouble. And it looks like they want to go back to their default, which is that top B. They had so much success earlier at top B taking, but no, actually doubling back, going towards A. But you took them towards long, especially as the rotate comes through as well. And that might beckon back Dihar and Valde.
Not a lot of time here, though. 35 seconds. Some Pius has still got the A1S. Long smoke's coming round, going to start to give the game away. There is only the one player here. Some Pius, though, he's a dangerous player once again. His support is on the way. Just needs to try and survive. Can't get it done. In comes the Deagle and Valde for 1. Traded instantly, though, isn't he? And again, there might just be another move to save. Snappy's got the A1S. They are going to buy into the next round, so maybe there's just go for it type energy to this. That's certainly how it looks at the moment. No smoke towards Moto. It's a bit of a rarity to see. Madden's got his hands onto an AK, however, and that kind of makes the decision for them. They'll move to save. And HONORIS moving up to 7. It's already a respectable T-half. Really quieting down here towards the back end of this round. We're just sat waiting for the inevitable. HONORIS, though, as said, they'll move up. And I don't know now. I don't know what you're making of this. There's obviously been a bit of a shake-up in the middle here, which, both teams, I think, going to be on the end of.
Yeah, I mean, we're already starting to see now this look a lot like what we've seen from Kato and the latter stage of 2022, right? With Blast, where Inferno is leaning in favor of being quite a T-sided map, right? And you actually are expected to win out your T-half more than anything. So, you know, with how things are panning out right now, this is sort of the expectation of what is an even game. But it's the fact that on paper, when you look at this game, it's not meant to be even. This is meant to be ENCE looking, you know, comfortable and looking pretty clean. And I you know, part of me wants to say that maybe this is showing A, the vulnerabilities in ENCE, but also B, maybe they're a little bit jaded off the back of, you know, that tech pause. It affected them more than HONORIS, and something in which potentially, you know, slightly tilting or maybe even ices off ENCE a little bit, right? You know, they came in looking pretty hot and slowly started to lose their aim jewels, and now they're definitely losing them.
Yeah, not healthy. Not a good look for ENCE here. HONORIS, though, proving why they did pick the Inferno in. We maybe questioned it a little bit. Nuke was open. But this looks really solid. This T side is clearly being drilled. And drilled effectively. Going for a fast B then. Smoke going to go down in good time. This could get very awkward indeed. Madden goes down quickly. Snappy trying his damnedest to keep up. Oh, big nade damage. If only we had a kill in here. They might just move to save unless the spam drops the bomb, and it does. It's going to make a big difference. Look how low they all are. This is really, really messy. Plant will come round this time with the Molotov to back Snappy away, but I think they'll want to give this a go now. Snappy contacting against the AWP. Samey can't land the flick. Snappy gets the better of him on the timing, and now a combined HP of only 16 is not going to be enough to stop the attack coming in. Sobol, there it is, a stray bullet through the smoke takes him down, and hence they will find themselves the 5th. Long awaited.
I don't even think Diha realized for a second there as well. He was still kind of jiggle peeking the edge of that smoke as if someone was waiting. I don't think he actually realized his stray bullet had seen off Sobol, but good round from ENCE. Clean retake as well. Not losing, well, only losing one in terms of a casualty, right? Which is all in all positive. Good to see. Tac pause being called by HONORIS. They know that they need to go in towards the second half. You know, with how they set themselves up, they have to be going in with a lead, right? Minimum 8, but we're looking at the potential of kind of 9 rounds just because of how good they've been previously on their C side. And it's just to make sure that ENCE don't start to run away with momentum. Don't start to kind of get a little bit overzealous, a little bit too comfortable, or things become very, very problematic. Right now, though, they're all good. Of course, plenty of money to work with. Cash in arrears means that they will have no problems buying in towards the next AWPs and all the rest. But HONORIS, they just need to make sure that they really just don't allow ENCE to put up too strong of a CT side after what was, and what kind of still is, actually a pretty bad start to this game.
Alrighty then, moving into probably our biggest round yet then. HONORIS will want to answer back quickly and make sure that the money just goes straight into the bin for the ENCE side of things. Early start with the utility here, and here it seems like ENCE are playing a much more standard Inferno. Now, without the timeout, we can't really know if this is something that was talked about, but I would imagine it was. They were playing 3 towards B early on. Going for the banana control didn't really work for them. And, you know, sometimes we end up seeing banana control and then 4 on A. Well, HONORIS are not a team that function in that way. Nice damage attempt coming in. There is a lot of bullets going down range. No kills as yet, though.
A little bit of a messy start here. A lot of util burning towards banana. Still, slower tempo once again set. HONORIS starting to show a little bit of that presence over towards the A side. It'll come through. And a fairly good chunk of damage as well.
That's some big damage. Not able to get a kill off the back of it, though. They'll be a little disappointed with that, but they are really chunking these HP bars down. HONORIS as well. Very little map control that they've been able to gain in the first minute and a half nearly of play. So what's the game plan now? They've gone for these late banana retakes before. Wow, that's a nice smoke, to be fair. All the way in towards CT from way back at T stairs. So they're coming thick and fast. However, the flashes are still ready on that end side. Nappy helping out Madden to get 2, and there's going to be a player to bolster the defense in on this site in the form of Valde. Snappy in the off angle goes unchecked. Valde comes in, and he will mow them all down. Beautiful stuff. 6th round for ENCE as they string a couple together.
Yeah, it's lovely work. It really is. Now things are starting to heat up, even off the back of that slight pause coming through. HONORIS trying to have a moment to, as best they can, ice out ENCE. It's not worked. And now things get a little bit jaded, right? We're looking towards HONORIS and we're thinking things are fine for them to buy in towards this round for the most part. Spot, of course, only in towards a Deagle. failing to find the penultimate round. They're going to go in towards the 15th in the final with nothing in their pockets, and it more or less gives ENCE a guaranteed lead at the half, which from how they started, they'll be so happy with.
Oh, nice nade. Nice solid nade to open up once again. Ryko going to be left low. There's the AWP of Sunpius in the apartments. Can't land the shot, but he does live to fight another day.
Once again as well for HONORIS right now. We've seen them do this quite often. I show a little bit of presence, take an early angel with the utility, and then just really cut the noise. Try and force ENCE to double guess themselves, to overthink and, well, over-rotate. Not looking like the case. It still looked like they're going to set up util over towards A, but there still is the possibility of wrapping back towards banana if they want.
Okay. Ryko with a hell of a peek. Flash of his own. Backed up by the Ferrari peak to go with it. Snappy in the off angle here to try and eliminate a couple members. They're going to go creeping in, very ready for more presence to be in banana. Samey finds him dink for dink. That's a legit set of entries coming in from HONORIS. And they will find themselves an open B bomb site here. A lurking presence of Sobol for good measure drops Valde. That'll be the round. And HONORIS starting to fly ahead 8 rounds into their T side.
Yeah, it really is a great double entry coming through. I mean, that first shot on towards the AWP, the flash is fantastic, but the shot is crisp. Seriously crisp. For Madden, it's not playing net 6. See if he can find a little bit of damage and a couple of kills on the way out. He should be okay for a drop. It's fine. Diha, as long as that AK ticks over, they should have no problem full buying in. Will Madden make it expensive on the way out? The answer is no. Just Diha remaining alive. He's tucked in towards pits over on the A-bomb site. And he might actually still get hunted here. There's a little bit of presence being shown as Sobol and that Deagle, he's getting nosy. He's poking around. He's having a look to see if he can gain some information. For now, though, should be okay. But he'll scoop up an AK as well. As long as Diha doesn't overextend or over-peak, this should be okay. And I'll keep that AK ticking over. So, at the very least, HONORIS will guarantee themselves a lead at the halfway mark. It's a question of, can they find the comfort room with 9 rounds? Can they find that breathing room over an opponent in which is considered the favourites in this game? But of course, it is HONORIS' map pick. 8-7 is what ENCE are hoping for. It's a question of will they get it? But of course, they do have a full buy to support.
You can certainly start to see why the Inferno was picked. It's really great to see HONORIS. As I said, they've had a hard road to get here, and it's not going to get any easier against ENCE. Unpious with the aggression. Ryko does take down Madden, though. This man is an absolute beast in banana right now. So a 4v4 in shoes, pretty much, yeah, exactly even across the board. Both the players left on 50 HP there. So a keen start. See what this T-side can do with it.
That's for sure. Either way, things nice and quiet right now. Numbers brought level. Bit of damage dealt on towards Diha. Same can be said for Ryko. And it looks like they want to double back in towards that default. Up towards top B. Some bias will once again be called upon.
We're going to see here, aren't we? Sunpius is firmly placing himself on B, so they have split the defense here at the very least, and quite substantially so. Those A players not in position to help each other out, really. What's the move? Wind the clock down. They love doing that. They've got plenty of util left to go. And they went for a dry walkout before. They're going to go for it again. Flash comes round. Dihar manages to find one just after he gets the smoke down. Able to work with it. In comes the support of Valde. It's Dihar, though, from Pit, who is the absolute monster. Somehow still alive. The bomb goes down, but they have this pit control, and it's so important to the retake. Moto smoke coming in. Any kind of retake utility here from the side of ENCE. Flash allows Snappy to get in. The AWP is right behind him. For now, the T's are split, but this window of opportunity is closing. Sobol in on the site, doing a great job, not giving himself away. Snappy just hiding in the smoke, trying to find this guy on site. They will get him. The AWP, though, up top needs dealing with fast, and it is. They've all got kits. It's all good. A little sweaty there towards the tail end, but an 8-7 finish.
Yeah, exactly. As even as it gets, both of these two sides have been inseparable. But with that being said, we're going to throw this one to a break. When we are back, it's second half underway. We'll see you all in just a moment.
statt Bild komm ich nicht weg. Kopf fragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich will nicht auf deiner Party gehen, nein. Engel und Teufel tanzen schwanzig. Von deinen Lippen tropft der Chardonnay. Ich küss ihn weg, bevor du schlafen gehst. Sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Faded auf den Wohnzimmerdeal. Baby, sag, wieso sind wir hier? Kann sein, dass wir den Boden verlieren. Wir heben ab morgens um 4. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg.
Welcome back. We're about to get underway in towards our second half. It's HONORIS with a slight, slim lead at 8-7. ENCE, they're going to claw their way back into HONORIS' map pick. This one could be tough, but they're barreling towards A.
Oh my goodness, yep, not waiting any time here on that ENCE side of things. They're going super aggressive, going to go 1-for-1, tracking down this final player on the A-bomb site in the form of Sammy. Missing all his shots, but he does get one off at the end. Going to get a reload in here, and they are just all around him. Sammy, though, somehow still managing to find frags, still alive, gets the knife out, and takes down Snappy. What have I just witnessed on the A-bomb site? ENCE with an absolute mare, and Sammy... What? I don't even know how to put it into words now.
Oh my god. Oh, that is something you really love to see. I'm actually interested to see what he goes for the buy. Yeah. I mean, he can afford to do so, right? M4ONS, full armor, utility, that knife giving him a lovely kind of 1k to work with. That's awesome. Really, really well played. I mean, I think we can talk all we want about HONORIS and the niceties of that round, but I think that ENCE who just really oversimplified that situation and didn't kind of give HONORIS the respect that they deserve. That's a decent CT size setup. That's completely dismantled the aggressive start that ENCE set up there.
Wow. Yeah, I'm still reeling from it. I'm still reeling. That was a hell of a moment. For HONORIS as a whole, this is looking very good off the bat. There's going to be that forced buy-in from the T side there. Just, again, prodding and poking in Inferno. There's clearly got to be something that HONORIS have, you know, picked up on in the game plan, that this Inferno is a little shakier than it looks for ENCE. Only playing the one on B, though. It's a risky move. Ooh, and they start to rotate off pretty quickly. They were expecting an A burst. The call's not too sound then. They're going to get control in towards B now. I'm going to go down, so a return on the investment, looking for the frags to come along with it. And as the smokes go down, it will be harder to hold. But this is still looking really good, if you ask me, on the HONORIS side. No,
I agree. They've got space to work with, numbers to work with, and of course, firepower, most importantly. In terms of this retake, time on their side too. A quarter of the way ticked. They're slowly maneuvering their way, and in comes the util to find these engagements. This could get messy.
Yeah, it is already starting off messy, to be fair. 2 in towards Banana is pretty good. Snappy down in pool. He finds 2. Maybe has he bought enough time? I think so. There's a player on the bomb. Is it Lunatic? It is. Okay, so they're all good. They've got the kit player on the bomb at the right time, but goodness me, that was a bit close for comfort, to say the least.
Yeah, a little bit dicey. Well, there's a world in which no kit, and that could have been a serious problem. Thankfully, not to be. 10-7. HONORIS, good position for them where they currently stand, 3-round gap. And now, of course, in a more technical space, you could make the arguments that Armor 18 is sort of just considered a bonus. So, all in all, not too bad. Double M4A1 or triple M4A1S, 1 MP9 and a FAMAS for Samey. Looking like they want to take a bit of aggression towards mid. Nice nade onto the hero. AK dropping Snappy immediately down to 37 points of HP.
Yeah, Taz is reading them so well right now. You really do have to admit it's a bit of a masterclass, and I'm sure he's put his big boy pants on for this one, you know, no messing around. They know the opportunity that they've got here. And if they can just keep making it deep into the qualifier, they can really prove what they are made of. Even to take a map off of ENCE would be
huge.
Unreal. Yeah, just absolutely unreal.
I think it's safe to say most wouldn't expect it, right? I think, you know, when you're looking at this on paper, ENCE should go, you know, they're one of the favorites, technically speaking. Is them Big are the two favorite teams in this entire qualifier. Maybe Big, you can make the argument, not so much anymore, of course, with the recent changes of CSN, but, you know, generally they're considered one of the better teams in this. So, ENCE in a position where they have a fairly decent stance to potentially be a #1 seed. And so far, it's HONORIS who are taking it to them, and really well done.
Contact B seems to be the call. They've got the 2 smokes that they need and the 1 flash to at least see them in. Lunatic on the jiggle. There it is. Going to get that smoke down. A return flash as well. They're going through it. That's not a good move. There's a man at Coffins who's got their number. And Lunatic chimes in with 2 of his own. Beautiful stuff. Great little simple setup. ENCE can't get through it. Dihar, as always, chiming in. And now he hits the deck. Sunpire saving for that AWP. Does not have a hope in hell here. He's retrieved a Tech 9. Maybe a head comes his way, but nope. And that's 11 for HONORIS. This is a legitimate lead now for the... I think even Underdog is putting it lightly.
Yeah, this is a serious performance. I mean, what we're seeing right now is HONORIS, who came in towards this game with, you know, very little expectations generally, and are now really taking it to arguably the best team in this qualifier, or at least one of the more stable teams in this qualifier in the kind of upper echelons of Counter-Strike. Right now, ENCE have got their backs against the wall, and this is actually starting to get problematic, right? We know the other 2 maps in the veto, both Vertigo and Nuke, are a bit of a fan favourite over towards ENCE, but lacking in confidence and morale, and they could struggle in towards those picks as well. We could see a real upset series here if ENCE don't patch up these mistakes.
Some trading of nades in the dark alleys of Inferno. What's the game plan here? Player to go up on the boost. They're ready for a B hit, and it would be wise. I think they understand that, you know, if they leave Banana open, more often than not, we're going to see Banana plays. Smoke goes down, 1:09 on the clock, and it is enough to scare ENCE away.
Once again, though, both sides very happy just to rely on mid-rounding, right? This seems to be the plan. It's very mid-round heavy, which, to be fair, is the meta at the moment in terms of calling. But I think something that you were alluding to just a little bit earlier, Taz has got a really good read so far and towards what ENCE are doing. And there's 3 players stacked over towards A. No rotation beckoned over just as of yet, and that is the right call. They're not over-rotating towards the A side. And in fact, with the lack of noise they're hearing, they might even just stay put.
Yep. They're going to do so. Lurk smoke comes in. Oh, this is going to be messy. This is going to be really tough to get through. They're going for this long hit once again. The wrap into the bomb site, keep them trapped through. Molotov, though, keeps them at bay. 20 seconds left. It's not a lot of time. They're going for CT retake Molotovs there on that T side to just really make life awkward. But the bomb needs to be careful in this situation. Only 10 seconds left. They've got to get these trades in thick and fast. Make sure that the bomb can get down in time, and it does. Somehow, they have done it. They've made it on towards this A bomb site, despite how well defended it looked. And ENCE, a great move from them. The remaining 2 HONORIS boys just going to have to get out of there.
Yeah, they do. There's nothing they can do with this, right? They have to get out of dodge. I mean, credit, I got to say, for HONORIS, once again, the setup's pretty decent. Finding a killer piece, but unfortunately just not quite enough. ENCE, when it comes towards the entries, all going for 1. That's all they needed to do. Just find their 1, stay alive. Simple, but it's effective. And it allows for ENCE to claw back a little bit of this deficit. HONORIS will save 2 overall, but I don't think it'll be too problematic. They should have a relatively conclusive buy-in towards the next, so we're okay. For ENCE, they are still most definitely on the back foot. As right now, the Polish side are really doing an absolute number to keep this gap built up, to keep it comfortable. I think overall, they don't really have to be overly worried just yet. When ENCE start pushing towards double digits, or he's, hit that benchmark, that's when HONORIS can start maybe, delving in towards attack timeout, start looking at things getting a little bit concerning. But all in all, nothing really to be worried about right now. I'm gonna say,
Who's coming in for the AWP? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, Lance attack onto Valde, not able to find the kill, but it's a decent result to kick off the round. And again, HONORIS showing that they are not afraid of ENCE. Banana fight. It's Snappies. Certainly is for that headshot. 5-on-4 ensues. They've got to rotate one across. ENCE looking a little better on the T side then. A bit more comfortable maybe now they can control the pace of the game.
Well, exactly that, right? I mean, they're dictating the tempo a little bit. And speaking of, they're going to cut it right down to a bit of a crawl back over towards A. I don't know if I agree with this call. They had entries to work with in space. They could have just played numbers towards B and kind of banked off the fact it's a standard setup. Double stacking towards short. Do they expect it? No is the answer. Samey's all rattles off for 1.
Brilliant stuff. I think Taz is playing the sound bait game as well. Samey going to continue to go. He's got another chance at this one. Can't find it, but Taz on the rotate is in good time. He trusted his boys at short to hold it. I thought he'd rotate a little prematurely now. That's the line I was going to go with. But the trust, well founded. And now just Valde against 3. Not a hope in hell on this one. 25 seconds to get the bomb down. Only 41 HP to do it with.
Yeah, it's not happening, is it? Valde, I think the best call to arms here is just keep that AK ticking over. Just keep it under their control. This is a fantastic performance from HONORIS so far. I think this is really kind of showing how, Polish CS right now is really thriving, right? When you consider that we've got, from that second open qualifier, 2 Polish teams made it through, HONORIS and 9. Both, I think, are really, really kind of, stepping up in the tier 2 scene. And then, of course, we got Snack still playing. Let Us Cook boys are, they're doing their thing. There's a decent amount of talent coming out of Poland, and they're continuously stepping up and proving themselves to be, quite the formidable sort of region, right? I always kind of thought there was at least 5-6 teams coming out of that region that were, able to stand up and, hold their own. And we're kind of seeing that. Luminara as well, another side that are doing pretty decent. I know Permitter and Challenger League kind of put up some performances. Unfortunately, Kato wasn't so good for them. But, it's like I'm saying, we see some decent teams coming out of Poland. HONORIS, maybe one that's been quieter for a while, but looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, definitely. This series has awoken them. Yep. And we start to cast our mind to the second map now with HONORIS being the victors on this one. Oh, Madden can't get the entry. Tried to go for a prod. There's no one close enough for a trade. Tried to play contact again, but they are very ready for it here. Lunatic going to get the smoke and the flash down to boot. Maybe a nade could make things look even better for them, but yeah, ENCE back to the drawing board.
Yeah, now, I think for ENCE, right, it just seems when it comes towards these mid-rounds, they just don't have an idea of how to break down this HONORIS defense. And I think, we have to go back and start looking once again at how Taz is out-calling this. He's definitely done his research. He knows what he's coming against and the amount of tape they've got to work. As some bias taps coming through, small amount of damage gives away his position.
Yep, nasty stuff. Raiko up on the boost as well. This is going to be hard to get through. Smoke's not quite good enough for him. He takes the first that he sees. Finding another. Ooh, Lunatic, though, with a wide swing. They do have a low HP player here. ENCE could definitely capitalize on this now. They're going to get the bomb into the site at the very least. Get that plant through. Safe plant. It's given away. 4-on-3. I don't know, man. We'll see. This is going to be tough, in my opinion. Valde up against Sobol is the big fight. This is the big fight. The head spotted. Not quite found. However, Valde up close to avoid the flash. Can this Banana Man make his way in? Yes, he can. And now we cast back to the site itself. What's going on over here? They're being held at bay, but Sobol, his impact is absolutely huge. They line up a bit. They do line up a bit, but they get it done. It might not be the cleanest, but nobody goes down, apparently. So the results look far better than the path into the bomb site. That is for sure. 13 now for HONORIS.
Yeah, 5-round lead. I mean, this is just stunning. What a performance. No one expected this side to come and be competitive against the likes of ENCE. No one expected the side to take a map, never mind be in the conversation for the potential of a series. I mean, this has just been a stellar showing. Of course, Vertigo is our next map. It's the pick of ENCE, but the way they're playing right now, their confidence at an all-time low. So much good it has to go towards HONORIS. They are completely taking the fight towards ENCE and winning time and time again. And what a start once again. Taz rolling back the years. He's aging like fine wine as he finds yet another kill to his tally.
Yeah, really showing him up here, isn't he? I mean, the calls, the rotates from him as well have been pretty stellar. And ENCE just cannot buy around. This is really incredible stuff to watch. Of course, we have Vertigo coming up next, which functions as a punish pick as well as a strong one for ENCE. But Nuke, it's kind of HONORIS' home map.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to say anything quite yet, but this is really blowing the series wide open with a result such as this. If they can keep it this one-sided, it would be pretty incredible. Banana Flash is coming round, but it's all thwarted because of a Molotov.
It's getting spicy. Numbers favor HONORIS, and they're doubling back over towards B. It's the right call by Sammy as that smoke dissipates as well. They're going to be in for a good position. Smoke of their own coming from Nubox might buy Lunatic a little bit of time, but time is ticking. 35 seconds. They have to pull the plug now, ENCE.
Yeah, this is big. Raiko with a really good spot here. He's got a teammate right beside him. They try and contact in around the smoke, but it's just not going to work. They heard the smoke come from Nubox, but didn't realize there was a player out towards the pillar. Sammy gets aggressive, drops the bomb, and that is going to be an absolute mow down. Not a single kill for ENCE.
This is fantastic Counter-Strike. You know, when it comes down to it as well for HONORIS, you just got to credit them on just the basics, right? They're just doing all of the, the fundamentals of CS perfectly. No rookie errors creeping in towards their playstyle. No overextensions. No one getting overzealous or over-aggressive, taking fights when they know they can't win them. They're setting up on sites. The crossfires are immaculate. The util is perfect. And ENCE can't piece them apart. Maybe slightly tilted, slightly jaded off the back of those tech pauses. But my God, are they looking good right now.
Yeah, looking amazing, aren't they? This is a half buy they're going for. So it feels like essentially to save the game. But they are just banking on the fact they can win 7 in a row. Wow. All right. Let's see how long it continues then. Will HONORIS be able to hit the easy 15? Rumdinger on the cards here. It's a pretty slow one coming in from ENCE. They're just hoping that they can burst out off the back of some solid lurk smokes. Molotov to keep them at bay for now. Smoke's going over the top. They're going to, fully commit to this, and they're giving the game away with these smokes, but still, that doesn't mean it's going to be an easy hold. Sobol, edge of the smoke, going to let them go past him. He's good for one. Needs to maybe be good for a second here. Sammy, meanwhile, in on the site, not ready for the long flank. They needed a little more from the apps plate. Taz goes down. Still got this Tech 9 in the hands of Madden, which does indeed scare even the best of players. Spray down's a bit rough, but they get it done. This is just impenetrable right now. HONORIS can do no wrong.
Oh, both the A site, B site, they're just a fortress. You cannot get any space. You cannot take the fights you want to. And it's map point on their map pick, HONORIS. If they close this out now, take a bow. What a performance it's been from them. ENCE, serious question marks have to be asked over towards this side. Of course, thankfully, they've got kind of such a certain pick for them that a Vertigo coming up next, but my God, this has not been a solidified performance on them. This has not been the ENCE that we know. A side who, have been competitive in Tier 1 for quite a while. They are struggling against what is classed as a Tier 2 side.
Okay, D-Hard just going wild, though. Through the Molotov, does manage to take out Sobol rotating nades. They found themselves a little bit of an advantage. Taz up close is not fast enough for it. Valde takes him out. 4-on-2. Looks like they'll keep the game alive then. And yes, you've got money, but it might just be an idea to save for the futility aspect here. But this 9th will go the way of ENCE.
Yeah, I mean, small silver linings. We take any positives we can get now, right? And if you're an ENCE fan, you're taking anything. It has been a pretty dismal T side Which is interesting as well, Scriv, right? You know, it's something we were talking about, saying kind of at the moment, or generally speaking, Inferno's been looking T-sided.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rarity to see it like this, that usual T-side rotational play, which is something that Snappy calls really well.
Agreed.
Is usually part and parcel to how the T-side goes down. You can just bait out the utility, go for a later round take. It's actually what we saw HONORIS doing quite a lot, and they won many a 4v5 doing so. But ENCE, well, this is the first one, and it's kind of cheesy, isn't it? They just go really fast through everything, which is usually in the book you get sent on how to play high-level Counter-Strike is something they don't want you doing.
Yeah.
So they've just taken the logic and flipped it. I don't know how many more rounds they're going to be able to do that.
That's the question, right? And it seems, I mean, so far, not even in terms of, you know, just that round, but generally this map, when we've seen ENCE find success, it's kind of a few rare rookie mistakes from HONORIS rather than ENCE really outplaying. And I think we have to start asking questions about now, how long can this last? Will these flash in the pan moments come and, you know, they get a little bit fortunate? Still got a mountain to climb to get back in towards this game. The deficit is still built up so significantly. 6 rounds. And that's just to push it towards OT.
Clearly going to be in the apartments here. Dihar, though, he's having a good game despite the scoreline. Flash comes round. Doesn't deal with Sobol. Another one, to follow, and they were maybe going to go for a double peek, but called it off. Valde takes a big chunk of damage, therefore. So they've given that away, and not for much here. They've got control of the apartments. That's about it. Sammy, meanwhile, flashed off, not giving his position away. A call for a rotation. Needs to be careful not to go down too quickly here. Some Pius on the contact. Who's going to win out on this fight? Right, I peek is not good enough. Sammy will drop him and the bomb alongside it. A Molotov to boot. Make sure they're out of there, but Madden finds a gap in the Molotov. Making this B-bomb site pretty vulnerable. Still going to try and go for it. A quick boost here from the CT side. Needs to be effective. Dihar, meanwhile, taken down on the flank. They're going under the boost. It's being watched for, and he falls off. A little giddy on the Ryko side of things. They're getting nervous here, aren't they? 15. It can be a scary scoreline as well as a happy one. 3-on-3, still very doable on the retake, though. I'm not sure they want to. I'm not sure they want to. Yeah, Valde going to drop another, and that should do it for this round completely. Yeah. They should be moving to save now so they can buy into the next.
Okay, that should be sort of all she wrote now in towards this round. ENCE up to double digits, and now we can start being a little bit more positive over there. At the very least, I don't mind this from Lunatic hanging around, right? If he can make it expensive still, it keeps sort of ENCE's economy in check. But he's going to double away, and he just about escapes with his life by the skin of his teeth. Where he ends up to 10 rounds, with 3 remaining alive. HONORIS forced into a double save as they still hunt for the all-elusive 16 and not quite at the finish line just yet, but they are damn close. It's just a question mark of, can they get across that last hurdle? Can they get off that mental block and see this one off? We're seeing ENCE now looking revitalized. I've got to say, towards that T side. They were struggling for a while. Really, really looking uncomfortable. Not exactly the ENCE that we expected coming towards this game. Now, finally, they're putting the pressure back over towards HONORIS. And this is going to beckon over attack pause. A conversation that Taz needs to have with the youngsters. How they're going to see this one off as well, right? These guys haven't been in too many experiences like this, where it's the upper echelon, where there's, you know, a potential LAN down the line as well. We haven't really seen them play on a more international LAN for quite a while, HONORIS. So to see these guys potentially be able to push towards Brazil would be quite the story, especially for the likes of Taz, right? A legend of the game.
Well, not expecting too much out from this buy. They're actually going to opt to take it safe and not drop across, not go around the rifles that they currently have. We do have another pause coming in here, tech by one of the ENCE boys. Yes, we do unfortunately have a little bit of remaining trauma on these tech pauses.
Please no. Please no.
Just cross all the fingers, cross all the toes. just relax. There we go.
All right. Only a minor one.
Easy does it. Yep. Only a little one. All good. All good. I'm sure. For some reason, you can't get rid of the ticks of the chat, even though you can hide the chat. I'm sure everyone was in there like, are you okay? Are you good? Everyone making sure that we're not having another extended techie on this one. Whew, okay, good.
We're all good.
So,
we're all good.
the pressure of the game comes back, though, for ENCE, of course. It's not like they are out of the woods in any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I think for ENCE, there, right, like we said, all it takes is one hiccup, right? One bad round. You've seen these sort of janky, weird buys have success in the past. Gotta say, I'm a big fan of a 5.7 myself. I think that gun's still slightly broken. And if you're finding opening kills like that, things do get worrying.
Yeah, this could be really scary now. Lunatic as well to back his man up. The double peak coming in. Neither of them go down. Oh, no. 5 on 3. And they don't really know what they're up against on the end side because all they've seen so far is M4s. They probably think they're up against a full buy. Oh, goodness gracious. Not good at all. Boost up above the smoke to hopefully find someone, you know, getting overzealous here. It might happen. Ryko's got an idea. He's going to flash in. Oh, and Sumpires peeks into it. That's so awkward. Doesn't hide around the corner either. Loses his head. This round is surely over now. A lot of patience coming in from the players in on the site itself. There is still Sammy to get past, by the way. Taz, they know that he's there, but they're not quite sure of the second man. Ryko goes down. Where's that other M4? It's on the way. Sobol is coming, but it's all Sammy, who's the player that goes unchecked. Yep, doesn't get checked properly. A little bit of an awkward fight for him. The Tech 9 out onto Snappy. What is going on? Plant comes through, and surely this should be it. It is indeed. Sobol there.
GG.
Oh my goodness. HONORIS with a legitimate Inferno victory. That is incredible to see. There were some tech issues in there, but nonetheless, 16-10. Handily beating ENCE, one of the favorites of this here qualifier. I am dumbfounded. What a map coming in from them.
What a performance. What a performance. We'll bring it back to the cams as we divulge on what we've just seen. And Scrib, I gotta say, from the second that tech was, you know, concluded and we got back in towards the game, there was only one win. I mean, that was just some stellar Counter-Strike coming out. And I think you got to give a lot of credit. I think Taz really played that to perfection. He had a really good